Astro van. This thing's the biggest piece of shit. This is a 2003 Chevy Astro van with 139,000 miles. Personally, I consider this the shittiest minivan, if you want to call it that, made. Not that it was unreliable, but it was a gas guzzler, worst in the crash test rating, terrible handling, terrible legroom. And how they maintained a style since 1984, 85, or 86, one of those 3 years. And they never really changed it. They just changed the front end and maybe the dash, and that's about it. The ass always looked the same. This has a 4.3 liter V6, I'll show you up front in a moment. A 4-speed auto. The interiors were trash in these. Armrest all cracked apart over here. Everything hard to the touch down here. This is slightly soft, but this is just a piece of plastic covered up with a cloth. Amazingly though, the dash is soft to the touch up above, though it is beginning to warp. You can already see it right there lifting. Plastic trim, very flimsy. Also very flimsy little compartment here. Again, I already broke that off already. Everything's very loose fit. You can see the legroom. You have the hump of the tire, or the wheel well right there, and then the engine, so your feet are practically just squeezed. God, this thing's annoying. This thing has a rear-mounted AC in the back, so it's a weird setup. This is already cracking. There I see the third row seat. Slides back and forth. These things weren't really so good on gas either. They consume just as much or more than a full-size SUV. You can see the headliner coming down right there. This does open. You can already see right there. Three doors. Inside a 4.3 liter. The worst thing about these vans is the offset crash test rating. These vans are absolute death traps. Just look it up on YouTube. You'll be amazed. These things practically bend in half. Drivers ought to be killed instantly. Their entire body would be right over the steering wheel. There's no text, so there's no reason for me to show the instrument cluster. There's the CD, radio, that's about it. Climate control, rear AC control, and rear wiper control. Has a little side pocket right there, and some power outlets. mirror, no light. The driver of this thing was one fucking big ass smoker. This thing's burning oil, I feel it. And the back seats, I mean, and the legroom wasn't so bad. The seats were high up, but the ride really wasn't comfortable. I've ridden in hundreds of these vans years ago, and it really wasn't a pleasant ride, because since you're right over the axle, which on top of that the suspension really doesn't help either. It's a very hoppy ride. And that rear AC, I mean, it really didn't help either, because it was just blowing from the back. So the middle row was quite odd. And then the passengers in the third row would have frozen heads.